Hello, fellow viewers and players, and welcome back to the AI President's Havoc of Erisia campaign. You two had an unfortunate death at the hands of Kalzim, the Ministry Adjudicator, back in Session 4. At the end of the session, your arrival to the depths was foreshadowed at the end of the episode, where this session will be taking place.
Yeah, about that. A worrying amount of people left comments thinking we were both dead forever.
Ha ha ha, true. Apparently, a lot of people don't watch these videos until the end. I sometimes put little teasers at the end for upcoming sessions.
Yeah, just like at the end of Session 3. That's when I was teased to join the series, but only like 3 people commented about it.
Oh, that's right, I almost forgot about that. Nice for you to finally be at the table.
Well, last time I was basically an NPC. Obama recorded some voice lines for me in advance for the series, since I was away for the time being. I didn't expect my character to straight up die though, so my first time playing will be in the depths, I guess.
Yeah man, the emo guy hits like a truck.
Also, why do I smell cigar smoke in here?
Cigar smoke? God damn it, I thought I told Andrew not to smoke in here. I can't let them be spoiled though.
Well, now that you mention it, I smell that too. Maybe he invited someone over for the other president's session?
Oh, maybe it's John F. Kennedy. He smokes cigars.
Or perhaps it's Fidel Castro?
I mean, Castro's dead, so that would be kind of difficult.
Well, so's Kennedy, you doofus. Wait, hold up. What if it's Andrew Tate?
Nah, that would be dumb. He's not even a president. He's also a massive asshole. I bet he wouldn't even touch D&D with a 10-foot pole.
Well, that didn't stop Ben Shapiro from joining.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. He's a player here because most of the time he's the DM, so Ben wanted to join a campaign where he got to play for once.
Oh yeah, true. I think he's only been a player like once, which was in Crafty GG's campaign. There might be more, but I haven't seen everything yet.
All right, let's try to get back to the session.
Okie dokie. Do we need to do a recap?
The other guys have already done a recap, so it's not needed.
Well, that spares us the trouble. I'm ready to play for real this time.
Same here.
There's a milestone level up for entering the depths, so you guys get to level up and pick a class path, talent, and mantra.
Wait, we got to level up?
Ah, shit, I didn't prepare anything.
Did I not tell you guys that?
We were dead.
All right, my bad. I'll give you guys some time.
2 hours later.
Okay, I picked some good ones. What about you, Joe? Is he sleeping? Already?
Yeah, Joe, the ice cream truck is outside. Wake up.
What? Ice cream, yippee.
Okay, good. What cards have y'all picked?
Okie dokie, I'm going first. For my Vigil class, I picked the Airborne Duelist path, which gives me a really cool ability called Airborne Initiative. If an enemy is launched airborne somehow, I can use a reaction to teleport to them and melee attack them for some quick damage. The enemies also take extra damage from the fall, and my class path gives me fall damage resistance, which is also nice. The range of this ability is 30 feet in any direction, and I can only use this 3 times per fight. And because I picked the Vigil class, the level 3 bonus gives me the talent Adrenaline Surge, which works the same way Action Surge works in D&D. My talent is a pretty good one. It's called Replenishing Knockout. If I defeat an enemy, I heal 1d4 HP, and this can proc multiple times per round. It's pretty simple, but very useful. Finally, my mantra isn't a Gale mantra this time. I picked Master's Flourish. I spin around and slash an enemy twice using a bonus action, dealing 3d4 plus 2 slashing damage. It has a +4 on hit if it's used after a normal attack. It also launches an enemy 5 feet back, which is pretty cool. I also got an 8 on my hit dice, which leaves me at 27 HP. Okay, now it's Bush's turn.
Well, let's see here. For my bandit class, I picked the Sanguine Opportunist path, which gives me an advantage to attacks of opportunity and makes me deal 1d4 extra bleed damage if I strike anything with advantage. Frankly, this is pretty overpowered, since I have 2 weapons, so this can go pretty nuts. My talent is Low Stride, which gives me a +4 bonus to stealth checks, which is nice for sneaking up to enemies and dealing some juicy damage. I had some trouble picking my mantra, but in the end I went for Ice Spike. This mantra summons a huge icicle from the ground, launching enemies airborne, dealing 1d10, +3 frost damage. This has a range of 20 feet. I picked this since it would synergize nicely with Jackdaw's new subclass thing. I got a pretty shitty roll from the hit dice, which was a 2. I'm now at 27 HP, which is equal to Jackdaw's.
For those that skipped, here's the rundown on screen. All right then. If you're all ready, let us begin. You both wake up, sleeping inside of a stone ruin. You open your eyes, seeing only blue sands and weird coral trees as far as the eyes can see. As you stand up, it feels like you're underwater, yet you can still somehow breathe. Up on the roof of the realm, you can see massive cracks of white light, serving as the only light source in this world. Further ahead, you notice the massive walls of what looks like a sunken city.
Off my head. Feels like shit to be dematerialized.
Same here, man. Where are we anyways? How are we still alive?
You are in the first layer of the depths, the Celtor Wastes. This is the first layer of many in this Dante's Inferno like hell.
Huh. So dying in the overworld just brings you to the depths?
Indeed, and dying in the first layer brings you to the second layer, and so on. However, natural deaths such as from age or disease will not bring you into the depths.
The world's just one giant onion, I guess.
I guess you wouldn't be too far off. Well, I'm off to find a way to escape this weird place.
I'll help you out, buddy. We can do this together.
Buddy. All right, let's make one thing clear. I'm not your friend. Never was. That thing that happened in Erisia was a temporary alliance, a deal even. I gave you some resources, you helped me in confronting Calzen. That's it. Of course, that plan fucking failed, and who knows if the gun guy, the nerd and Penelope had died too.
But the others can't be dead. Wouldn't they be with us too?
They might have been summoned somewhere else here. Nevertheless, my point still stands. I carved my own path. I have to return quickly to take back what's mine, and I don't need someone to drag behind me.
Seriously? There's no need to go all lone wolf mode. This is foreign territory, Gary. Do you really want to risk your life just so you could be alone?
Don't call me Gary, you little goody two-shoes. I'm a bandit. I live to steal and steal to live. The paths we've chosen don't align.
Well, what about another one of those temporary alliances, huh? You can't reclaim your territory when you're 6 feet under.
Oof, you make a decent point. Fine, we can travel together, but once we return back to the overworld, don't expect another alliance from me.
That's fine by me. Let's find a way out. March forwards.
After your brief disagreement, the two of you finally decide to wander further into this mysterious realm. Your footsteps leave markings on the vast blue sands, where clumps of jagged rocks paint the skyline of the world. You notice in the sky schools of what look like jellyfish glowing a neon light blue over the massive city beneath them.
You know, I've always heard rumors of how dangerous or terrifying this place is, but we haven't really seen anything noteworthy. In fact, it looks pretty peaceful.
Oh gee, I don't know. There might be some creepy fishies hiding away right now. We're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled for whatever that tries to...
What was that?
In a large coral bush, a clump of it moves, trying to break free. It coughs, trying to escape its aquatic prison. The shape of a man's face is shown, with the contours of an upper body revealed. He looks miserable, with deep sunken eyes.
Ah, it might be one of those groaners. I've fought them before. You gotta kill them before they call for help.
Oh yeah, I've seen those too. I'm on it.
Wait, I mean no harm.
Oh, they usually can't speak, only growl or gurgle.
Ugh. Yes, I'm not one of those monsters. Or at least not yet.
Why are you inside of that coral thing?
I had wandered here for weeks with no food. In my desperation, I ate one of the scallops, and my body started breaking down and mutating somehow. I lost my legs, and my body turned into this thing. The only thing I can do is wait to die now, while it eats me from the inside.
Damn, what a gruesome fate.
Ach, indeed. Yes. I don't know if all groaners are born like this. This is excruciating. Imagine, not being able to move, trapped inside of your own husk. That is my existence.
Can't we free you? You seemed to break free a little when we approached you.
My entire body has been turned into a damn plant. I'm rooted to the ground. My attempts to escape are ultimately futile, and I'm aware of that. Please, if you could, end this for me.
Let's put him out of his misery, Jackdaw.
It pains me to do this, but I will fulfill his wish. I unsheathe my katana and try to kill him as cleanly and painlessly as possible.
With a swift strike, you decapitate the helpless hatchling mudskipper, ending his misery. His head falls to the floor as it begins to fade away into dust. The dark blood of the miserable creature spills out into the air, which then also fades to dust.
The worst part is I don't even know if his misery has ended yet. He might just be sent into the second layer instead.
If you want to, you could make an Arcana check in order to know how the depths function.
All right, I'll try to roll. I got a 14 on my Arcana. Does that tell me anything?
Yes, it does. You recall something from your classes back when you were studying at the Isle of Vigils. In order for a soul to pass on to the next layer, the vessel has to be strong enough in order to persist through passing. Therefore, it could be logical to say that the Mudskipper hatchling has passed forever since his vessel was at the verge of collapse.
It's a cruel world out here. At least we know now to not eat anything growing in the depths. Let's continue.
Your march through the realm of the dead continues. The world down here is mostly colorless, only painted with dark blues and blacks. However, the many coral patches bring life to this dead realm. There is perhaps beauty in this place, with small specks of life scattered throughout this vast yet dead world, like poppies growing in trenches. You notice the countless mountains attached to the roof of the realm, like support beams in a building, holding its structure together. Your path takes you through a rock tunnel, shielding you from the abyssal threats.
So, how'd you become a bandit?
Wouldn't you like to know, Vigil Boy?
Ah, come on. If you tell me, I can tell you about how I became a swordsman.
No thanks. Quit bothering me.
It's going to get boring if we just walk and do nothing. We have so much time to kill, man.
Fine. I applied to be a bandit and went to a job interview. There, done.
That's bullcrap, Gary. You can't apply to be a criminal.
Not that you know of, Snaky.
Man, why don't you want to tell me anything?
'Cause I know that the second we escape this place, your sorry ass will snitch on me with the Vigils and have them take out my whole operation.
If I wanted to do that, I could have done it the moment I met you. I promise not to tell them anything. It's our secret.
Fine, fine. You're really nosy, you know. I used to live in Erisia back when it was still inhabitable. My mother ran a criminal organization and secretly controlled most towns there as a sort of mafia. My dad happened to be a deadbeat, so he's out of the picture here. My mother took care of me and had her underlings tutor me when she was absent. That's how I learned most of my tricks.
What was your mother like?
Well, for starters, she's still alive, but no longer running crime rings and that sort of jazz. After a catastrophe at Erisia, most towns were obliterated, so she's retired as of now. She's tough as nails, and also an elder chrysid, so she's got these massive wings. Unfortunately, her muscle mass is so large that her wings can no longer carry her.
Wait, what? Is your mother ripped or something?
Incredibly so. Her name's Tiffany Ixatoke, by the way.
Okay, the name and the body does not match up at all. She must be on something. But steroids haven't been invented yet.
What do you mean, man? Doesn't everyone's mom look like this? Is this sort of stuff unusual?
Change of topic. Why do you not have wings like your mom? You said she was a chrysid, right? Aren't you supposed to be like half moth?
Honestly, it's a mystery. My own guess is that highborn races' genes don't match well with others. So maybe my other genes were more dominant? Might have to contact a biologist or something. I do know that I inherited my capabilities as a frost rower from my mother, which is why I can summon ice daggers and stuff like that.
That's pretty interesting. When we met you, you had an encampment in Erisia. How'd that happen?
Well, I'm an opportunist at heart. The second I heard a new, massive driftland had appeared, I just had to take my chances. I had full support from my mother, who lended me 5 of her previous goons, which then became the 5 bandit lords, which helped me keep control of all these lesser bandits. We found a great spot to set up a base, as it was directly over a stone foundation, with some old dungeon infrastructure below. We quickly assembled our base, and I grouped some bandits into foraging, some into guards, and others into scouts. Apparently, we were among the first to settle on the island, where we had discovered some of the lost materials here, such as Erisia, erythine, and the incredibly addictive blue-cap fungus. You've probably overheard this stuff already. By smuggling them back to Etris, the closest city, we earned shittens of notes, more than your broke vigil ass could ever imagine.
Well, that last part is a bit rude, but how does Calzin fit into the picture? When we overheard you guys talking in the warehouse, it sounded like he was pretty important.
Ah, well, that's right about after we finished building most of our buildings in the settlement. He just waltzed in there and basically demanded our respect. We told him to fuck right off, but he quickly proved to be a powerhouse, where he used some of that weird shadow magic stuff to demolish one of our houses into bits. We all knew we basically had no chance against him, so in desperation I recruited him. He graciously accepted and acted as my second in command. He also said that he saw some kind of hidden potential in me, which I found to be pretty odd. Most bandits were scared shitless every time he was around, and he was surprisingly good at organizing forces. Or well, up to a point, when he started sending out my bandits to guard pointless objectives where they were slaughtered by either authority forces or Etrine soldiers. Worst part is, we couldn't really do anything about it, since he could kick the shit out of all of us if we opposed them.
Damn, that kind of sucks, man. But why did he suddenly become incompetent? You said he was really good before.
Clearly, he had some other ulterior motive other than to keep the operation running. This all started to happen the second I left to explore the tower-struck lands, where I had foolishly left Calzine in charge. I remember him saying that you had some sort of hidden potential as well, just like me. I still don't know what the hell he meant by that. Of course, at the end, he revealed he wanted to recruit me into some sort of faction, but I really couldn't care less about the ministry or whatever the fuck they called themselves. Now, all I hope is that I can return to try to finish Calzine off and reclaim what was mine. So, what about you then? You said you were going to tell me about how you became a Vigil swordsman?
Of course, man. I find it funny how one moment you refused to tell me anything, and now you've told me basically your whole life story.
Screw you. It's to pass the time, that's all. Now get on with it.
Well, I don't remember this first part, only what others have told me. When I was but a little teeny tiny baby, I was in a shipwreck. According to the Vigils, this ship was attacked by a Central Authority destroyer ship. But I really don't know why or for what purpose. The Vigils came to rescue little Olmi, and they brought me to safety in one of their inns. Sadly, my parents didn't make it, and I don't think I remember their faces at all. The wise Vigils taught me in the ways of the books and of the swords. They also instructed me in the ways of gala breathing and helped me hone my skills.
Well, that was nice and short. Thank goodness that was all you had to say.
Of course not, Gary.
Good grief.
I remember having a couple different teachers, but my favorite was Sir Maestro, who taught math and swordsmanship. I wasn't really good at math that much, but I loved his sword classes, and he always helped out kids if they needed any practice. He's a super chill kind of guy with a sort of air of mystery around him. Oh, I should really tell you about the time he saved the school from pirates.
Oh my gods, I regret ever joining this conversation.
After I became old enough, they sent me on a mission to find one of our lost Vigil scouts. After they had been sent on a mission to map out the new driftland that appeared.
Did you hear that?
Oh yikes, might be more of those mudskippers.
You hear shouting ahead, coming from other people. You emerge from the rocky tunnel as you see a group of 3 of what look like monster hunters, 2 men and 1 woman. They all carry various weapons, such as battle axes and serrated greatswords. Their armor is a cyan cloth and steel mixed plate armor. They stand gathered at a flat battleground, with weapons drawn, staring down a vicious sea creature. The beast is massive, easily over 20 feet long, sporting razor-sharp teeth and tough scales. It swims around the monster hunters, searching for an opportunity to strike, as the hunters shift around, desperately trying to fend off the beast. Clearly, these have bitten off more than they can chew.
Damn it. Keep your eye contact. Any moment of weakness is an opportunity for it to strike.
Be ready for when it lunges. We only have a few moments to fight back.
Fucking hell, mate. Whose bright idea was this? We can't bring down a Razorfin with just the 3 of us.
Stop your whining, Peter. Let's prove what a diver is worth.
A diver? This must be some sort of faction. You've got to be a massive fool if you want to voluntarily go down here to hunt monsters.
Wait, so did they die on purpose in order to hunt monsters?
There are other ways to reach the depths without dying. Some of these methods include using portals powered by ether or sometimes even underwater caves.
They're still monumentally stupid.
The sea creature, fittingly called a razorfin, rushes for an opportunity to strike, using its massive fins to propel itself forwards, opening wide with its jaws.
Stand your ground, divers. I will lead us to victory. Rah!
The other divers stand dumbfounded as their supposed leader rushes forwards towards the razorfin, trying to take it down alone. His sword bounces off of the creature's scales as it snatches him, easily catching him with its jaws. The razorfin crunches down, completely annihilating the body of the diver. His insides spill out, creating a cloud of red blood in the water. The beast spits out the discarded metal armor, which is now crumbled and in pieces.
Oh no, that's terrible.
That idiot deserved it. Bro thought he was the main character.
Oh gods, we're doomed!
They never prepared us for this in training. Run for your lives!
Gary, we have to save them. I'll run over and help them fight it.
I extend my arm to stop Jackdaw's idiocy. Did you not just see that fish obliterate a guy in metal armor? Do you think you'll do any better?
But it's the right thing to do.
Spare me your delusions for later. We have to get the hell out of here. We're not becoming victims.
The remaining divers now scatter, desperately trying to avoid becoming food to the beast. It quickly locks on and finds a new target, rushing down and catching him. It targets the female hunter, who's running to save her own life.
But please help! Save me! Help.
And she is no more reduced to a pile of gore.
How can you just let this happen? How can you see these injustices and just let it slip past you?
It's not an injustice if they're the ones who provoked the beast.
Do you not have any empathy at all? Those hunters are people, just like us.
Empathy is a weakness in an uncaring world.
If empathy is a weakness, then why did you free Penelope?
Oh, shut up. Let's get moving already. We're not doing anything useful by just sitting here and watching people get slaughtered.
You walk back through the rock tunnel, this time in complete silence. You emerge at the entrance once more. In order to find a new path, roll for perception.
I only got a 6.
I got some pretty shitty luck, too. That's only a 7.
You only find one other path to take, which is to the left. A massive forest, seemingly made out of kelp, shows itself. The massive leaves of kelp move with the stream of the waters, replicating the movements of trees in an old forest.
Well, it's either this or to get eaten by a big-ass fish, so let's go.
You strut into the kelp forest, following a long-since-faded path. The ground is lined with jagged rocks and small corals, with abyssal fish swimming around you. The air, or well water in this case, smells slightly putrid, as if something has been rotting here.
That smell isn't a good sign. We should tread carefully.
I'll unsheath my katana quietly and be on the lookout for anything that might try to attack us.
In a small opening in the forest, you find a small school of 5 of those glowing neon jellyfish you saw earlier in the sky. They stand gathered around a body, stinging it with their tentacles, creating a smell which resembles burning skin. The body seems to still be partly alive, although severely damaged. It carries heavy metal armor, along with a large steel maul and a buckler shield, which lie next to it on the ground.
Ah, well, that explains the smell. What kind of creature are these jellyfishes?
Roll for nature.
I got a 12. Does that tell me anything?
Yes, these are gigameds, a type of creature only found in the first layer of the depths. They are quite weak physically, but can exert thousands of volts of electricity and shockwaves when threatened, stunning their targets. They become lethal when in large schools, where they can defeat foes much stronger and ferocious than them.
That's good to know. Let's see if we can chase these little critters off this body. There's only 5 of them, so this shouldn't be too hard.
All right, I'll cast my Seeking Ice Daggers mantra to try to snipe some of those gigameds off it.
Roll to hit.
You kidding me? My first attacking roll is a natural one.
Oh boy, that's not a good sign.
As Gervasius attempts to summon his ice daggers, he loses focus as 2 of them shatter midair, not reaching its target. The third one flies completely wrong and flies to target Jackdaw instead.
Dang it, Gary. How did you manage to shoot backwards?
My bad, Jackdaw. My daggers must have thought you were an enemy or something.
The gigameds now take notice of your presence. They swim away to dodge the exploding ice knives, and they start to glow ominously, crackling with electricity.
Ah, yikes, they're pissed.
One of the gigameds attach themselves to the head of the warrior like a helmet, replacing the warrior's entire face with its long, slender stingers. Suddenly, the warrior's body jolts awake, shot to life by the gigamed upon its head. It brings itself to its legs, picking up its steel maul and rounded buckler shield. One of the gigameds applies and stretches itself over the entire shield, glowing a neon light blue. The deep gigamed Night Knot points its weapon to the both of you, challenging you to a battle. Roll for initiative.
Nice, I got a 19.
Only a 10 for me. I hope they didn't get anything better.
The gigamed Knight rolled a 14, and the 3 other gigameds got an 18, a 15, and a natural one. The battle order will go Jackdaw, Gigamed 1, Gigamed 2, Gigamed Knight, Gervasius, and finally Gigamed 3.
All right, for my turn, I'll run decently close to the right and try to wind blade to hit Gigamed 1 and pierce through to Gigamed 2. I got a 15 to hit and 7 slashing damage.
According to the rules we set back in session 4, that doesn't pierce. It has to be above 16 in order to pierce once.
Oh, bummer.
Jackdaw sheathes and unsheathes his katana, sending out a green crescent slash of wind, deeply cutting the gigamed. A few of its stingers fall off, floating gently down to the ground.
I'll run up and use Master's Flourish on it to finish it off, since that only takes a bonus action. That's a 13 to hit and 11 slashing damage.
That's enough to kill it. How do you want to do it?
I run up and unleash 2 devastating spinning slashes, slicing the jellyfish into ribbons.
As you slice the jellyfish, you push it 5 feet back before it explodes into a cloud of electricity. If it weren't for your flourish knocking it back, that cloud would have damaged you. You also restore 2 hit points from your replenishing knockout talent.
Well, that's good to know. We should use ranged attacks if we want to take out the jellies without being hurt.
The second Gigamed now moves in to attack Jackdaw, waving around its stingers as it pulses through the air. It strikes with its stingers. It rolled a 17, so that misses. Jackdaw avoids the electric stingers of the Gigamed, dodging gracefully with swift movements. It is now the deep Gigamed Knight's turn. It takes a few heavy steps, shaking the ground as it treads. It raises its maul high into the air and slams down at Jackdaw. A 14, so that misses. The maul slams down into the earth, cracking the black rocks of the depths, and whips up a small cloud of blue sand. Jackdaw backsteps, staying ever vigilant. It's now Gervasius' turn.
I'll cast my Warden Blades mantra and run up to the two jellies, but still staying in melee range so that I can shred them and do a little damage.
Okay, that will require the Gigameds to roll an acrobatics check above 15 to dodge it. A natural 1 and a 9. You deal 5 slashing damage to both of the electric jellyfish as your revolving ice blades rend their membranes.
Well, I don't have any more movement left, so I'll use my offhand dagger to stab the jellyfish north of me. I'll just have to tank the electric explosion if it kills. A 15 to hit and 9 damage, which probably kills it.
Indeed. How do you want to do it?
I grab my second dagger and spin it around as I stab right through it, taking it down swiftly and efficiently.
The Gigamed reverberates and explodes, prompting you to make a Constitution saving throw in order to avoid being stunned.
All right, give me something good. A 19, perfect.
As the jellyfish explodes, Gervasius stands prepared for the shock, managing to keep his legs sturdy even after the shock. However, he still takes 6 lightning damage from the explosion.
Well, that's all right. At least I can move next turn.
Okie dokie, it's my turn now. I'll finish off the last Gigamed with a melee attack.
No, don't. We're both in its explosion range, and if we fail to save, we might both get stunned. It's probably better to keep it alive.
I could use my Master's Flourish instead.
Then it will still hit me. You should just deal some damage to the knight instead. We can take out the Gigamed later once I've repositioned.
I guess you're right. I'll unsheath and attack the Gigamed Knight.
Jackdaw unleashes his blade and slashes with fury against his heavily armored opposition. The knight recoils from the hit as the Gigamed on its face sparks with electricity.
Oof, this guy might be pretty tough.
It's now the Gigamed's turn as it attempts to electrify you with its stingers. Only a 14, so that misses. Your AC is too damn high.
Well, yeah, honestly, I don't know how I started on 18 AC. You're the one who made the classes and stuff.
True, I guess. The knight brings up their jellyfish buckler and slams it into the Vigil Warrior. Damn 22 to hit 9 lightning damage. Make a Constitution save.
Awesome. A dirty 20.
The hulking knight smashes their shield against you. As the Gigamed wrapped around it zaps you with electricity upon impact. The robed warrior manages to withstand the electric current of the creature and keeps himself standing.
All right, now it's my turn. First, I'll start by sneaking behind the knight by using a bonus action.
Make a stealth check versus their perception check.
I got a 26. I don't think they're beating that.
Indeed, you disappear into the darkness, as if you were never there to begin with.
Perfect. Now I'll sneak behind the knight and stab them with my dagger. Hell yeah, 23 to hit. 17 piercing damage. 4 bleeding from my class path, and possibly more from my Warden Blades.
The Gigamed Knight failed the acrobatics save. Just after the knight had slammed the samurai duelist with their buckler, they are struck by a devastating impact from behind as a cobalt cloaked rope pierces through the heavy armor with finesse, leaving a deep wound and causing the possessed vessel to bleed. They also suffer 5 extra slashing damage from the Warden Blades as they rip through the knight's armor.
Jackdaw, use your main attack to damage the Gigamed, and then use Master's Flourish to finish it off.
Okie dokie. 15 to hit and 6 slashing damage. And from my Master's Flourish, 13 to hit and 9 slashing damage. That ought to finish it off.
The Vigil Duelist unleashes a devastating combination attack, cutting the jellyfish into bite-sized chunks as it explodes from a safe distance.
Perfect. Now we'll handle this easy peasy.
Oh gods, please don't jinx this shit.
The knight, upon seeing its kin slaughtered, stomps with fury, creating an electric quake around it. It rolled a 21 and 14, just enough to hit both of you. The attack deals 8 bludgeoning damage and knocks you both back 5 feet. Both of you have to make a Constitution save in order to not be immobilized.
Oh yikes, I got a 14 on my save.
I got an 8, so not so good for me.
Jackdaw manages to withstand the electric surge as he is flung back and knocked prone. Gervasius is flung back, knocked prone, and also immobilized for the next turn, and cannot use any movement next turn.
Well shit, guess I can't do any sneak attacks this turn. I have another idea instead. I'll cast Ice Spike on the Gigamed Knight and hope Jackdaw can do his air combo thing. Does a 15 hit?
Unfortunately, it doesn't. As Gervasius attempts to summon an icicle from below, the knight notices it and avoids it. The ironclad knight then uses their hammer to smash it into pieces, creating a storm of ice shards.
Damn it.
Well, I'll use my old reliable katana and deal some damage. I'm still prone, but I'm pretty close anyway, so it doesn't affect me too much. I'll run up to it and try to knock it prone using the pommel of my sword. Oh crap, natural 1.
Well, this is going great, isn't it?
Jackdaw lands an insultingly weak pommel strike, barely tapping the tall knight's chest plate, not nudging them by a single millimeter. You hear an odd sound from the Gigamed upon its head, which almost sounds like it's scoffing at your attempt to displace it. The knight reels back its fist and punches you right in the gut, dealing 6 bludgeoning damage and sending you flying back to where you came from, knocking you prone once more.
Man, screw this guy.
Yeah, we're both below half now. They might run up to one of us and smack us with their hammer. And they'll have advantage too, since we're both prone.
The knight suddenly starts running away and making distance, running about 20 feet east of you. The armor-clad warrior waves around their shield, summoning 3 electric orbs around their head. The orbs start to rotate, sparking uncontrollably, as they are flung towards Gervasius with perfect accuracy. The fleeting sparks fly into the prone body of Gervasius, shocking him further. He takes 8 points of lightning damage as he convulses on the cold abyssal sands.
Oh, I guess that mantra is like a magic missile, where it always hits.
Pretty devastating when it's the enemy using it. My ice spike has a range of 20 feet, so I'll have to get a little bit closer. Let's hope it actually works this time. I'll use half of my movement to bring myself up, and I'll run slightly closer in order to cast Ice Spike on the knight. Let's go, my first natural 20, so that's a critical hit.
Congrats.
Let's see the damage on this thing. 20 frost damage. With my sheer will, I drag myself to my knees as frozen debris gathers around me, like a blizzard of wrath. I scream with full force and fury. Frost draw Glacial Impale.
Wait, I thought it was called Ice Spike?
Glacial Impale is a way cooler name. I made it up on the spot.
Well, you certainly have more creativity than I do. The frigid spike erupts from the ground, catching the knight by surprise and launching it high up into the air.
It's finally time. I activate my airborne initiative talent as a reaction.
The vigil warrior closes his eyes as he teleports in a gust of wind, appearing midair next to the airborne knight.
That's a 17 to hit and 12 slashing damage. I slash downwards with full force to slam the knight back into the ground.
After Jackdaw unleashed his full power strike, the Gigamed knight is spiked downwards into the ground, creating a small crater as it impacts. They take 5 bludgeoning damage from the crash as Jackdaw lands gracefully, not taking any damage from the fall.
Gods above. That combo we did made them take 37 points of damage.
You know, Gary, we make a pretty decent team, you and I.
Don't count on it.
The deep Gigamed knight brings themselves back to their legs using their steel maul as support. It seems fairly weak, but the vessel still has tons more energy left. The knight brings its weapon high into the air, readying for another round.
Hey, so I noticed something Gervasius. This is a body being controlled by a jellyfish parasite mind controller thing, and they only have like 12 HP, I think. Why haven't we tried aiming for the actual parasite yet?
I didn't think of that when I stabbed it. Wait, you're telling me we could have ended this on round 1?
Well, not really. I wouldn't let you guys get such an easy victory.
Oh, well, it's still probably more important to hit it in the head, so we should try to do that. Also, since last round was a reaction, I can attack again this turn. The first roll is only a 14, so that misses. I'll use my adrenaline surge talent and try again. Awesome sauce. I got a 21 to hit and 7 slashing damage.
Did you just unironically say awesome sauce?
I then also use my last mantra slot to cast Master's Flourish. Wowie. A 27 to hit and max damage, which is 14.
The knight avoids the first slash, but they are struck in their side as the vigil warrior gains a sudden burst of energy out of nowhere. They are then struck by a combo of slashes from all over the place, leaving scratches all over its armor. The knight looks quite infuriated as electric sparks emanate from their fists. They rush forwards and raise their right leg to kick you. Their leg is wreathed in blue lightning as it comes crashing towards the vigil warrior.
Oh boy, this is another one of those big ultimate attacks that deal way too much damage.
You catch on quickly. You hear faint words from the Gigamed, which resembles.
Maximize Thunder Call. Thunder Kick.
It's a 23 to hit, and you take 20.
Hold it right there. I use my Gale Step talent as a reaction to avoid the kick.
Oh my God, I forgot you had that. You'll have to make a contested acrobatic save with the knight in order to dodge it.
Easy peasy. I got a 16.
The knight got a 12, so it fails. Jackdaw jumps upwards, avoiding the destructive thunder kick with ease as the knight simply kicks air.
Ha! You're too predictable, knight. If you ever want to win a duel, you need to take your enemy by surprise.
The possessed knight freezes up and starts laughing a little. And then a lot.
Oh boy, that's not a good sign.
Predictable, you say. I have to take the enemy by surprise? Is that what you said?
Oh, well earned. Yes, that is precisely what I said.
All right then, how about I take a page out of your book?
The knight uses their adrenaline surge talent and lifts their other leg to kick you.
I didn't know they got that too.
You hear those words once more.
Thunder kick.
18 to hit, just barely enough to land.
Tell Maestro he was my favorite teacher.
The Vigil Warrior, after receiving a dose of his own medicine, is launched 30 feet back from the devastating impact of the kick, taking 17 points of lightning damage as he bounces on the sand, like skipping stones over a lake surface. Luckily, he manages to slow down before impacting into the nearby wall. He slumps over on the ground, rendered unable to fight.
Ouch, my bones. But to be honest, I've had worse.
Well, shit. I don't have any health potions, so you're just gonna have to thug it out.
Come on, man. I know you have a bunch of those small red potions in your pockets.
Oh, fine, I'll toss a minor healing potion to Jackdaw. He can heal at his own volition, because I ain't force-feeding that cornball anytime soon.
I can't drink a potion by myself when I'm unconscious.
Do I really have to babysit you like this?
Gervasius, I am literally dying to death.
Whatever, I'll walk over and force-feed him the potion.
Thanks, best buddy.
Jackdaw restores 6 hit points from the lesser healing potion as he awakens tired. The Gigamed upon the knight's head pulses with amusement as it prepares to deal with its next victim. However, something odd distracts it. The sounds of casual whistling permeate throughout the air, and it's rapidly approaching too.
Who the hell is doing that casual whistling when we're over here fighting for our lives?
Huh, that's not something you see every day. Is that a Gigamed controlling a knight? And it's, oh, I recognize that pale snake. And who's that blue-cloaked fellow?
Oh my gosh, Squib Hoss, are you here to help us?
Help you? I don't see Lionel anywhere here, so I'm not too inclined to intervene. Wait, don't tell me. Is he also in the depths? I can understand you dying because you're trash, but my little favorite Dance Dance Revolution enjoyer wouldn't be dead, right?
We don't really know. Gervasius and I were fighting some emo guy with a hat, and we both got killed. He may or may not have died, but we haven't seen him anywhere here.
Jackdaw, who is this squid guy?
Oh, of course. The unwieldy snake man hasn't told you a thing about me. I am Squib Hoss.
Oh, I'm Gervasius Ixatoke. Pleased to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine.
The Gigamed knight stomps in anger from being ignored.
Oh, goodness gracious. How childish of them to throw a temper tantrum right in front of us. Tell you what, I'll spectate your little scuffle with this fellow. I've been looking for some entertainment all day, and this might be what I needed.
All right then, we've got a spectator, Jackdaw. Try not to die.
No promises.
In the knight's rage, they stomp the ground, creating yet another electric eruption. Except this time they directed the quake from long range. A 12 and a 13, which both miss. The Vigil and the Bandit King both avoid the eruption with ease, rolling to the side.
I'll use my action to hide so that I don't die from his electric ball projectiles.
Wait, you're just leaving me to deal with him?
Yep. Good luck, buddy.
To be fair, I kind of deserve that.
Jackdaw manages to hide in plain sight since he was far away enough from the knight's field of vision. The ironclad warrior sets its sights on Gervasius as they run up to bash you with their buckler. They got a 9, so that misses. The Bandit King ducks and avoids the shield bash from the rushing knight.
Perfect. Now we're in melee range. Let's wrap this up. I cast Rising Frost on the Gigamed Knight. That's a 16 to hit and 13 frost damage.
That's barely enough to hit. Gervasius combines his 2 ice daggers into a long spear and spins it around like the blades of a helicopter, cleaving right through the armor of the Gigamed Knight and sending both of them skyward.
I'll activate my airborne initiative to slash them mid-air.
The injured yet endlessly determined Vigil Warrior teleports into a gust of wind and appears right next to Gervasius in the air.
Holy shit, this guitar solo is going nuts.
Oh, don't mind me. Just adding a little pizzazz to this battle.
17 to hit and 14 slashing damage.
That's enough to kill. Describe how you want to finish them off together.
Hell yeah, I stabbed them right in the heart with my ice spear as we crashed down into the ground.
I'll carve this guy into 1,000 pieces with my katana. Metal Gear Rising style, and stab them in the face.
Impossible. How could this vessel ever be defeated?
The possessed knight plunges to its doom, stabbed in the heart, brain and having all its limbs sliced off thousandfold. The bandit and the Vigil plunge down together into the abyssal sands of the Celtor Wastes, impacting and creating a massive dust cloud. Combat is over with a dramatic finish.
You know, Jackie, you were right. We do actually make a good team.
Oh my gosh, did you just give me a nickname?
Oh, I guess I did.
Am I allowed to call you Gary for real this time?
Fine, you get the Gary pass.
Yay. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be wise and mystical. Ahem, I accept your offering with grace as we are now equals.
The Squid Man approaches you, clapping his hands in amusement.
That was quite the show.
Thanks, man. You were killing it on that guitar.
Squib Hoss lets out a small chuckle as he stares at the ravaged battlefield, decorated with many small metal scraps and jellyfish chunks amongst the craters in the kelp forest.
So, Mr. Squib Hoss, how do we escape this place?
Not a fan of my domain, huh?
Domain?
Yes, domain. This is my home.
Did you, create the depths?
Only partially, since I helped to create this outer layer here a couple thousand years ago or so. I only rule the Celtor Wastes here. Anything else below this, and I'm merely a visitor.
Well, that's great and all, but how do we leave?
Oh, that's right. In order to return to the surface, you will need to seek out the Cathedral of Interstus.
And where would we find that?
Well, it's not exactly hard to find.
Scribble points to a large tower emerging from what looks like the skyline of a sunken city. Rays of light from the overworld shine onto the tower, highlighting it like a beacon.
That place is where you'll find your way out. The trip will be perilous, for you at least. You might also meet my wife there.
We will have to take a long rest first. We're both low on health and mantra slots.
Wait a second, did the knight have anything valuable on it?
Ah, yes. Loot goblin tendencies.
On the body of the chopped up knight, you find 37 notes. Anything else has likely been hacked to pieces by Jackdaw.
Really, Jackie? Did you have to ruin all the good loot?
My mistake. Original gangster.
Apology accepted, I guess. We'll set up camp and take a long rest.
That's a good moment to end the session on. As the gang finds shelter in the kelp forest, they drift to sleep inside of a small cave opening. As usual, thank you all for watching, and have a great day or night.
Halt. State your name.
Calzin Umberson. I have urgent news about the compromised dungeon in Erisia.
And what would that be, Major Adjudicator?
I have found 2 people with Shadowcaster heritage.
If you're still here, you are probably looking for some future foreshadowing or secrets. I don't have any right now, but I can show you my sketches of the Deep Giga Med Knight on screen. I drew this with pen and paper before trying to make it into an AI image. Also, sorry for not uploading sooner. I've been busy with my graduation and all that. As always, have a good day or night.